Langley, Virginia, CIA Signal Intelligence Department, 0548. The building was still asleep. The corridors were dim, the coffee machines silent. Only a few units were on night duty, and all of them thought they were scanning routine data streams. But the first signal outage at 0542 shattered that normalcy. One of the on-duty technicians leaned over his screen. "This can't be," he whispered. Visually, the radar looked like it was working, but the data streamline at the bottom was empty. He restarted the system. The same screen came back. Everything looked normal, but nothing appeared. Same situation on the second monitor, then the third. Suddenly, a red icon dropped onto the task desk. Critical alert. AN/FPS 132 system not responding. That was one of the long-range early warning radars in northern Alaska. Within a minute, the same alert came from 4 other systems at bases in Japan, the UK, Italy, and the Pacific. But none of them showed hardware failure. They all looked operational. At that moment, everyone inside understood. This wasn't an attack. This was the silence of keeping your eyes open and seeing nothing. CIA Operations Desk, 0602. A high-level security alert had been issued. While the central office analyzed military systems, all radar links on shared networks were falling silent one after another. The CIA Director of Cyber Threats removed his glasses and placed them on the desk. This isn't a crash. This isn't a shutdown. These are systems that are functioning, but see nothing. They're pretending to receive signals, but actually, a void is spreading. The expert next to him showed the signal log. Right before the attack, a very faint signal was picked up from northern Iceland, but it's not an ordinary signal. It targeted a specific frequency range, mimicking radar data packets. With this technique, a radar could think it's receiving an update signal. The director brought his hand to his chin. So someone tampered with the system's brain. Just then, someone entered. Their voice was cold, brief, and calm. Russian Tu-95s are moving into the Pacific. They're currently outside radar range. The room fell silent. No one asked, "What if it's just a drill?" Because everyone knew, if this many radars go down at once, no one could stop those planes. The director nodded. "Send someone into the field. The signal source looks like the old station in Iceland. There's only one person fit for this." He pulled a folder from the file box at the end of the room. A black and white ID photo, a stern-eyed man. Name, Gabriel Ward. Gabriel's house, Georgia, 623. Gabriel liked the silence of mornings. When he opened his eyes, he would study the cracks in the ceiling, contemplating the little details of life. But this morning, he woke up to the sound of the phone. It was the CIA's emergency line. He answered quietly. "Gabriel, our radar systems are down. All of them. This is intentional. We're sending you coordinates. A signal from the shores of Iceland has been flagged." "This could be the start of a new era," Gabriel asked. "Why are you sending me?" The reply was clear. "Because we can't trust anyone else to go there. Our license in deeds, in the head pass in deeds, and retains in the interest to thing." Gabriel got dressed, buttoned his jacket, took his gun, closed his file. There was no anger or fear in his eyes, only a quiet sense of duty. This was his life. Blindness had begun, and he was setting out to find the light. Northeast Iceland, Vopnafjörður shores. Late afternoon. The black SUV that picked him up from the airport drove along icy roads winding between the mountains. Gabriel didn't speak during the ride. Looking out the window, all he saw was endless whiteness and a few wooden houses that seemed to exist outside of time. This part of Iceland was no longer a military zone, but still a place rarely visited. And that's why the signal broadcasted seconds before the radar failure from here meant so much more. The driver confirmed the coordinates on GPS. "This is it," he said. Gabriel got out, slung the black bag over his shoulder, pulled up his hood. The winter sun was about to fade on the horizon. The sky was frozen like a sheet of ice blue. He followed a narrow path almost invisible under the snow along the slope. A rusty sign emerged from beneath the snow. "NATO Signal Surveillance Facility, 1976. Below in English, Icelandic, and French, the same warning was written, "Unauthorized entry prohibited." Gabriel touched the sign with his fingertips. Years ago, this place had been active. Now, no one was supposed to be here. But the CIA signal analysis systems don't lie. The door wasn't broken, but it had been forced. When Gabriel entered, the first thing he noticed was the silence. The wind outside had turned into a mere hum inside. Dusty panels, torn cables in places, and nearly emptied office rooms. But then, he saw a sliver of light at the end of the corridor. There was no electricity, but in one of the rooms, an old terminal seemed to be running. Gabriel approached slowly. The terminal was active. Power source unknown. The screen flickered in a faint green. Some keys on the keyboard were missing, but the system was still functioning. It could be a trap, but at the same time, it was real.